Hi guys, welcome to another Dun anime review of 2020. I am doing an anime review on Bonjour Koiaji Pâtisseries. Sit back and relax and let's get started. Sayuri Haruno dreams of becoming a pastry chef and enrolls in the Fleurir Confectionary Academy, an elite school located in Tokyo's trendy Aoyama district. As Fleurir, she finds herself surrounded by charming princes, each one directly and distinctly unique. Out of the entire class, Bonjour Koiaji's desire is to become a pastry chef is the strongest. Blessed with unparalleled techniques, instructor Mizuki Ayo acts like a prince and is hugely popular at the school. Gilbert Hazawa, well, this is Kaji Reinu, and Gilbert Hasawa. This is Gilbert Hasawa. Pronouncing his name right and hopefully not butchering it. The mood maker of the bunch is a student from France, and Yosuke Suzume, him right here, is not very good at expressing his feelings, but underneath his stony exterior lies a wholehearted passion for wagashi, Japanese sweet. As Shura pours her heart and soul into making her dreams a reality, she encounters many happenings. And of course, it does that as I'm trying to explain all the characters. Sorry, guys. And one of them, he is Aoyama, and he's the instructor of the series as a whole. All together, the details look stunning. And look at these sweets. Like, these sweets look stunning. Like, they look amazing. And these are all the sweet prince, as I called him. There they are. This anime has 24 episodes. It started airing October 10th, 2004, and finished airing March 20th, 2015. It is based off a game, surprisingly, instead of manga. That's new. Its genre consists of slice of life comedy, harem, romance, and shoujo. Each episode is 5 minutes per episode, which is really short considering unusual for it to be that short, a 5-minute episode for 24 episodes in the series. Is rated PG-13. That's very interesting to say the least. Very, very interesting. Oh, and I can't believe this was based off of a game. The news tweeting on it, most times some series are based on like manga and vice versa. You know, or a light novel. It's interesting that it came from a game. Like, look at the sweets. Like, if I can just, guys, look at that. That is delicious in its own right. That looks lovely. Let's see. With a show like Bonjour Koiaji Pâtisseries, one is supposed to relate with it, like with some extension. The main hero and the cast surrounding her, we're supposed to understand the situation, the happenings, or the predicament that they find themselves in, or at the minimum, at least understand what message the anime is attempting to portray. But behind all the cakes, hunks, and pretty artistry lies something sinister, practically nothing. Story. Bonjour is then the main girl, Sayuri Haruno, a young high school girl looking to make a name for herself in the hobby of making sweets. Therefore, she enrolls in this prestigious confectionery academy where she meets her friends and professors for the coming year. Which is very interesting to say the least, how this anime is very stylish in its own right. And, you're looking at it and you're like, can I find anything wrong with this anime to say the least? But this is quite difficult when you're thinking of the overall aspects. Let me see if I can find any sweet treats that are in this series. So this is a good picture of basically the general gist of all the sweets that they make. It is quite difficult for anime to talk about besides Bonjour is technically classified as a harem, or with further anime derived from a reverse harem, but that's where the show problem begins. When it comes to harems, either the male or female right, it's paramount that the haremer shows some sort of interest toward the person of their affection. Yet Bonjour doesn't do this. Rather, it has only one character do this, Riju, but then simply forces him into the friend zone with literally a handshake and nothing more. It's even strange for the rest of the cast because what is given isn't an emotional connection or a feeling, but a teacher-student relationship, which is understandable given that there are in their positions within the school. But what is the overall point with nobody to cheer for it, with nobody cheering against, that it fails as a harem and succeeds as being this weird allegory of just a group of friends? Even if one ignores the harem aspect, the reimagining or the remaining parts of to fall back on it supplies the life foundation. But again, it cannot hold itself up. Many of the events can certainly be classified as a slice of life. Snowball fights, getting a cold, and going hiking are some very simple scenarios that take place. It isn't simply, what's the word I'm looking for? There just isn't any substance to any of what's going on. With the harm already having failed, it becomes evident why this is the case, since most of the encounters generally never contain feelings that go beyond a good friendship. Furthermore, much of it goes on themselves or to the audience. As caught up on the offset, the show is supposed to be all things sweets, candy, desserts, sticking true to established roots throughout the whole series. It fails to use even the backdrop in a meaningful way. The creation of the various food, it sometimes portrays its focused manners of aesthetic appeal, but it never uses to further the character's development of the story. An argument can be had for the near-ending battle that takes place, but that too is forgotten quite quickly, only further that already of the series' direction. And though its strongest point can be found here in the overall art and animation, the art for the show is usually quite pretty, even their usual central location being mostly the school, as you can see right here, the art, the sweets in general. The overall details and apparent quality to be very high. The props due to the show using lighting in various day and nighttime events. The school itself is appropriate with different classrooms, kitchens, and grounds. It also rarely moves outside the school to cities, parks, or the shops to spice up the environment. Props attempt to keep the viewers at least marginalized interest as to what is going on. The character designs are highlighted with overall levels of detail, apparent qualities to be quite high. Each has certain sheens to which allows them to almost sparkle or stand in a positive way. She redesigned especially nights with her intricate hair and many outfits. The guys from Yu to Miski are also detailed in such ways. The most obvious feature is in particular colors, but that doesn't take away from how well each one was designed. Finally, see the different aspects with all the guys within themselves, especially right here. Look at all their hair to their clothes, it's very intricate. Finally, actual animations are around average. There aren't too many opportunities for the show to have the characters move around in complex or in any way. Usually falls on easy mouth movement or other nonchalant activities. The anime does step up slightly during the appropriation dessert crafting scenes, but those are too far in between to be considerably noteworthy. Sadly, the characters, it's very difficult to talk to them in length, particularly because the problem is that majorities sever nothing besides the food that they make. Gilbert is somewhat clumsy yet kind at heart. Yosuke is stirring at caring. Miski is completely understanding. Ryo is unnerving and on the outside yet sweet on the inside. Each of their characterization is fine, but after their initial showing, they don't help Sayuri Haruno develop in any way. They sort of provide different perspectives on life and the way they handle going on about weird issues that normally have to be dealt with, but such themes are never explicit, nor are they compelling for the viewer taking part in this experience. Unfortunately for the main heroine, goes figure about the same as well. The most likely due to her harem being extremely weak, but like them, outside of her available personality and super nice self, she isn't known to have seen much treatment in terms of personal growth, despite her coming to the academy to become a high-class pastry chef. She has these minimal ground experiences that allow her to see what one should cherish the people and species around you. This is a vibration of a bit throughout the show at certain points, and during that already talking about the final battle, still even given that she comes to realize that the best things in her life are close to home. It doesn't excuse the fact that execution-wise, she doesn't seem to improve. The end of the show demonstrates that she still has no idea what life events are to come and go on. She begins wanting to have fun time at school, and once nearly the same thing. Imagine the character are particularly treats. Sayuri is a cupcake topped with these decadent frosting lightly sprinkled. Ryuju is a chocolate piece hiding a creamy caramel center. Mitsuki is a rainbow flavored ice cream. And Yosuke is an edge brownie with less chewability back. And Gilbert's clumsy is a crumbly cookie cooked to perfection. And alone they sound pretty good and possibly for some, and combined into one, it sounds like a sugar heaven. But one does mesh them all together. What are you left with? Isn't a delectable treat or dessert, but an inedible, unsatisfactory mess that leaves a horrible taste in your mouth, sadly. So, the opening song is filled with drums, pianos, and rather grating vocals. The shaker in the background, the clapping, the whimsical chime, trying to elevate the piece, but it fails flat instead. The first ending song is somewhat fast, with the strings working in unison. The guitar and drums make up the majority of the beat in the game, but eventually ends with a fluty-ish tone that finishes in the piece on a literal and figurative high note. The track is okay, but not particularly interesting. The second opening song has more dual singing with a much better catchier beat generated by the very simple drums and guitar playing. And overall, like, the sound is like not really that bad, but that's what I've noticed in Catch. But the track does end more melodic note than others. Aside from being able to bob one's head easily, the track is nothing to phone home about. The anime soundtrack is somewhat strange in many pieces, feel oddly too short for their own good. There are many more fitting pieces, such as the Spanish-sounding Macarenas and harmonica tracks and fitting joke tones for more comedic moments. Again, unlike some of the openings and ending, it's sandwiched between those through, and it's entirely forgettable. In regards to the voice acting, though, involved around above average across the board. No special shout-outs to be had for this one. The overall enjoyment, the show tried as much as it can to be funny. Most of the time, it involves the side characters such as Tasuke, the girl who hates the main heroine, and the president of the school, but their respective natures and gags quickly deteriorate whenever comic values is in one may have been trying to grab. When the romance scenes were given to the chance to play out, go along with what had already been said, there wasn't enough here. Roji being a romantic dating game with Shuri, the two enjoy a snowfield park, or her and Mitsuki gazing at the star at nighttime. Each sounds very romantic, but in practice within the anime, it's quite lame to see the same outcome he's already had. Nothing being able to tell one way or another how each character feels about each other. So, overall, the series is supposed to be an anime about pastries, harems, enjoying life, but instead we just found a lame story, a trope of awful characters, and quite boring experience. Its only saving grace is nice art animation, but it's not enough to keep the desserts from burning. Overall, I would give this like a 6.3 out of 10. If you're gonna label this series as a reverse harem, I would love to see some romance, and I did not get any of that, sadly. So they failed on that. Just focused more on such a life, and the background served no overall purpose. The animation was nice, the art was good character design, overall actual animation. Terrible characters, uninteresting, boring, never seemed to do much of anything. The opening endings, some were very bad. The first opening was bad, second one was okay, overall soundtrack, okay, voice acting work, enjoyment bad, not very funny, and the romance present is lackluster. Overall, I gave it the score I gave. People might not agree with me, and that's fine. Everyone's entitled to the opinion. That's just how I felt about the anime. I feel like they were able to redo it. There might be a better chance of it having a better reaction from me, especially each episode only being 5 minutes. I feel like they could have done a lot more than just give the anime 5 minutes, but that's just my personal opinion. I hope you enjoyed this anime review, or comment down below if you have seen this anime and what you wish they would have done differently, and especially if they consider this a harem with a lackluster of harem tropes that should be typically in a harem or a reverse harem, especially with the romance part, which it was very lacking to say the least, and it's very quite sad. I hope that y'all have great day, and I'll see y'all next time for another dun dun anime review, and I'll see y'all next time. Until then, bye guys.